Hi, we're Launch Control, and we're here for Behind the EP for Music of the Future to talk about our new EP, Attention Economy. My name's Lee.
My name's Alex.
I'm Seb.
And we're Launch Control. We're a punk rock band from Reading. So we are releasing a new EP called Attention Economy, which is out on the 2nd of October, if that's not already happened. Will be available on all the usual streaming platforms. So we have a few questions that we've been sent by Music of the Future. So the first one is to talk about the meaning of the EP, which kind of works quite well for us because we have a sort of, I guess, an overarching theme that covers the songs. So Attention Economy is this idea that, quite a sort of well-known idea that human attention is a commodity that everyone is kind of vying for. So what we've done is we've used 5 different songs to talk about the different ways in which people are vying for our attention. So you have kind of very political, the kind of rise of the alt-right, that kind of thing, right through to organized religion and things, and social media and things like that. And it's kind of tied in best really by our first single, which is also called Attention Economy. And that's about how brands and social media and, you know, algorithms are constantly mining our data and finding ways to, you know, vie for every little moment of our time. Anybody got anything to add?
No, I mean, that's spot on.
Yeah, summed up very well.
Thank you.
You wrote songs.
Yeah. I have to do all the heavy lifting around here. Except for the literal heavy lifting, which I never do any of. So then we've got, what was the recording process like? So Alex, that's mainly you, right?
I produced the EP and mixed it. And we tracked drums in August 2018, I think. It was a long time ago. Yeah. Lee probably wrote these songs 2016, some of them late 2016, early 2017, because we pre-production Zombie Guts 2017, 2018 was it?
2018, I think, but yeah, we probably wrote them. I wrote them at least a year before that. I think, all apart from the single. So
we did the drums, and then we had quite a long break because I had another baby and had to move house. So it's been like really fragmented, like lots of little sessions all over the place. So drums were done in August 2018, and then guitars were done like over a year later, and then vocals were done just about a year ago, weren't they? We were trying to just
and we were kind of finishing them at the start of lockdown, weren't we? Really, just before lockdown.
Yeah, so it's been very fragmented, but I think it's probably been a good thing in the long run because it gave the songs time to evolve a bit more than maybe they would have, especially the last song, Marketing for Martyrs. Yeah, that changed a lot. So
it did. Yeah,
it was good.
And then so then of course you then went away and had the fun process of, you know, comping and mixing the EP.
Yeah, well, it was during lockdown. It's just like, I mean, I played a lot of video games, but other than that, I hadn't really achieved a lot. So our daughter was sleeping in this bedroom at the time where all the recording gear was, so I couldn't really do it. So I moved the Mac into the living room and was just working for a few hours a day, every day with headphones on, and that's where I edited it all and I even did some of the early mixing with the headphones on. And the synths and whatnot were added just like with a pair of headphones on the Mac. And that bit was fun. Yeah.
How did you find recording the drums, Seb?
I mean, obviously it was so long ago now, I can only sort of remember a bit of it. But yeah, we were back at South Street at
Creative Control.
That's the one. It's, you know, it sounds great there. We've done a few other songs in the past at ours. But yeah, it was good to just be recording some new LC stuff. I think the last thing we recorded was probably a Christmas song.
Probably.
Usually,
Probably.
But we really took our time on the drums that day, didn't we? We were like, we were setting up for hours, weren't we? And we were like we had like a tape measure out and stuff, didn't we, for the drums?
Yeah.
We had it with us for other reasons, but it came in handy.
You never know when you're going to need a tape measure, right?
Yeah, it was good to experiment and just move mics around, really sort of tune the drums to fit the room and stuff. But yeah, obviously it's worked really well, and the amount of time you've had to sort of mix has paid off, because sometimes you might only have a short period of time to mix, so it's probably a bit better to have too much time.
We had that cool idea of we had the cassette tape, didn't we, that we were recording the little room sound.
Oh yeah,
but someone kept forgetting to hit record, didn't they?
That's the problem.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Always next time.
When the drummer's got to hit record, you're in trouble.
Hit things.
Yeah, this ties in quite nicely to the next thing, which is asking about the writing process. So our writing process usually kind of works the same way, whereby I write the sort of shell of the song. So I always start with the lyrics. Tend to, when we're writing new stuff, write quite a lot of ideas, always jotting down ideas in my like notes in my phone, and try to write a little bit every day kind of thing, and come up with as many things as possible. Alex will be sending me cool words that he's heard in television shows. And this all kind of goes in the mix, and try and pick out some ideas that work together. So then I'll put, I sit over an acoustic guitar and put very simple, well, the music doesn't get very complicated, but, a very simple song together, and make a really rough demo that I showed to the guys. And I think, so that was 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And then we have one benefit we really have, is that as a drummer, Seb learns songs incredibly quickly.
Well, they're very easy songs to learn, these.
Well, yeah. So it's 50-50. But it does mean that we can work in this free-form way, where we kind of go into rehearsal studio and have we had like one practice for 2 songs kind of thing, didn't we? Yeah. We worked something like that. And we'd work out tempos and things. And then really we're straight into the studio to start recording.
So the song always feels new, doesn't it, when we start recording it? We haven't had the death. Yeah, because we've had that in the past, where when we were sort of starting out, where you by the time you're recording, you're so fed up of the song. Don't really like it. That there's no energy in it, really. Yeah. So we try to avoid that by doing it this way. And like Alex says, this time, where we've had the kind of benefit of a lot of time, things have evolved a bit, because our previous EP was kind of straight from my demos, wasn't it? Mayday. Yeah. Whereas this time we got in there and made quite a few changes. And certainly Alex has talked about the last song, which is the longest song we've ever had. Yeah. But it's 5 minutes, which for us is like a odyssey. Rhapsody, yeah. Yeah. But it didn't start out that way, though, did it? Because it was, my demo is like 2.5 minutes long or something like that. And it was never really felt, I always liked it, but it never felt like a complete idea. So we kind of, it evolved several times really throughout the process. It got longer because we were going to have a long fading out intro, outro even, but then we liked the outro, so we kept it. And Alex and I tried several different versions of vocals over the end, didn't we? We had kind of like me giving a sermon at some point. Yeah. That was cool. That was fun. That was a little makeshift studio in your office, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Yeah, it's proper DIY, this recording. We've been in proper studios. We've been in rehearsal. I tracked the guitars in the rehearsal studio, didn't I? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then the vocals that we were going to put in for the last, right at the end of right at the beginning of lockdown, I came up with some vocals which are now the outro. And it's kind of like a minute of solid vocals. And we were literally about to go to the studio to track that, or to my office or somewhere to track it. Yeah. And that's when we got locked down. So
Alex had to basically teach me how to record something in my house. so we could do it.
That was fun.
That's fun. You just get a load of pillows. It's fine, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's where we're at. And then, so the final question really is, who did you work with? Well, we most of it we did ourselves. Most of it was down to Alex, really, who's produced all of our releases. So, well, since the very first one. And so yeah, it was really you, wasn't it? But we did have a little bit of extra help.
We got Dave Chang in to master it, who's we'd heard of Dave Chang 15 years ago, haven't we, Lee? He worked with our friends band Global, and then we looked at his back catalogue and learned he'd worked with Cat Down and 4 Foot Fingers and all sorts of good stuff.
Stomping Ground.
Stomping Ground, it was Orange Goblin, I think. I may have
I think that's right, yeah.
So I've always wanted to work with Dave, but we've just never really got round to it. And then this time I was just like, I sent him an email, and he was he was so helpful, and he really gave us mixed feedback and whatnot, and he even did a little string arrangement in the intro track for us. So it's been a real pleasure to work with him. Definitely would love to work with him again.
Yeah, and then we should also shout out our good friend Al Heslop as well.
Yeah.
So he runs Creative Control Studio in Bracknell, which is where Seb mentioned we tracked the drums and did a few other bits as well. And Al has always been a sort of helpful friend, gives us mixed feedback, things like that, doesn't he?
He does.
And then we had Blaze from GB Media put together the artwork for us. From our many varied, weird and wonderful ideas, and then he came up with something great, and he also put us together the lyric video for Attention Economy, which is really good and people have been really happy with. So that's us. So Attention Economy is